Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm participating in a Halloween hop and I am so excited to introduce you to some more creative crafters that will help to inspire you to get started on your Halloween crafting. Or if you've been following me and have already started, they can help give you more ideas for more projects. So I'd like to welcome you to our Halloween video hop. Halloween cards don't have to be scary and there are so many ways to celebrate. So we thought we would give you some ideas for some of your cards. Our hop starts today, September 19th, 2020, and goes on through Friday, September 25th. This gives you plenty of time to watch and comment on all our videos. The giveaway winners will be announced by September 30th on each individual channel, and a list of all of the winners will be over at TaylorMadeCardsForYou.com. At the top of my description box, you'll find a link to the next person in the hop, and please pay close attention as some of us will be giving away a prize on our channel, and we will all have our own rules for entering. For more information and a complete list of all of the videos, head on over to Monica's blog at TaylorMade Cards for You. For my project, I'll be making this Wheel of Fortune card using the Daily Curse digital kit from TaylorMade Cards for You. Before we start on the card, let's take a look at the digital kit. This first page is the Daily Curse classified section dated October 31st, 1845. Next we have a creepy spiderweb background. And then we have the skulls pattern paper. This next page is an ephemera pack full of fortune tellers, ephemera and sentiments. I love this page, they're so cool. And we finish up the kit with all of the ephemera that goes with that Daily Curse newspaper page. In my last video, I used that photo of Edgar Allan Poe and the witch to make some creepy crystal balls. There's a link to that video here. For my card today, though, I'm using other elements from that kit, starting with a happy accident. For my background, I'm using the skull pattern, but instead of cardstock, it's printed onto a transparency. I had meant to print it to my color inkjet, but instead sent the page to my laser printer that had a transparency sheet in it. I'm starting with my normal A2 size side folding card base and adhering that transparency to it. I'm putting the print side down so that the card has a clean, shiny finish and so that the ink doesn't come off. Now, I haven't tried this before and I don't want to take any chances. Then I just trimmed off the edges with my paper trimmer. I trimmed down the Wheel of Fortune to get rid of those extra borders and to make it so that I can see a little bit more of that incredible background. I just love those skulls. And then I'm going to need to pick out a sentiment. Now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use one of those fortunes that are included in the kit. She's got a long list of those and it's really cool. Most of these sentiments are really pretty positive, but I chose the one that says, "You've made some enemies by speaking the truth," which can be taken positive, but it can also be taken in a somewhat negative, ominous light. I'm cutting a thin strip of foam tape from Arteza to pop up that sentiment. Now the foam tape seems to work pretty well, but I don't like that plastic release paper. I was having a very difficult time cutting through it vertically, and I have a pretty hard time getting that tape to come off as well. Now, I just started using this, so if you use it and you've had better experience with it, please let me know down in the comment what your secrets are. I'm going to actually pop that up in that little blue slot at the bottom of the Wheel of Fortune. That space is just perfect for this. Also, when I saw the wheel on the first image, I immediately thought of having an arrow spinning around it so that you would spin it to choose your fortune. So that's what I'm creating here. Now this die cut that I'm using here is from a tag set from Mama Elephant. I'll have a link down below as well as all of the other supplies I'm using. But I'm using just the arrow and just the little circle die that's there. The circle die is for you to punch the hole in the tag. So I'm using those basically as the end for my arrow. So I'm going to adhere that onto the end of it with the pointy end down. And then I'm also going to glue a couple more together and use those as a washer on the back, so it's a little easier to move this around. It turns out really cool. I love this one little movement part that you may not even realize is there. I love this. So I die cut 3 of those tiny arrows, and I am going to glue each of those together, and then I'm going to adhere those little washers. Now I'll add that arrow spinner to the front of the card. I'm using my Tim Holtz craft pick to poke a hole right through the middle of the spinner. Then I take a mini brad and I feed the post through the hole in the spinner, through the hole in the center of the Wheel of Fortune, and then through the washer that I made earlier on the back before opening the 2 posts. And now we can just spin that little arrow around to select our fortune. At this point, I decided that I want some more secure hold on the transparency before adding the rest of the elements to my card. So I grabbed some strong double-sided tape and added it to the card along each side under that transparent panel. I burnished all of the tape down and then removed that release paper. I wanted to create one more thing to add to this card. The Regions Beyond die set from Tim Holtz's 2019 collection has a little crystal ball. I thought, what would be more perfect than adding that fortune-telling device to this card? So I die cut those pieces of the crystal ball and a raven out of some gray cardstock, and now I'm just using some of my Spectrum Noir markers to add a little bit more color and dimension to those pieces. Now, after my last video, I just had to put Edgar Allan Poe's face inside that crystal ball. I had printed out the classified section onto some newsprint earlier in the day just to see how it would work, and so I'm taking a circle and drawing around that piece that has the ad for Edgar Allan Poe, and then I'm just cutting out a little circle in the size and shape of my crystal ball. Next, I adhered the circle piece of the crystal to a scrap of transparency using my art glitter glue. But before cutting it out, I'm adhering Poe inside the crystal. Next, I cut out this crystal. At the bottom, I'm leaving a little tab just to make sure that I've got a place to adhere the stand onto that crystal ball. Now I can put everything together. First, I'm using some double-sided tape on the back of the palm reading sign, and then I'll place that up at an angle up in the corner. Next, I'll add some double-sided foam tape to the back of the Wheel of Fortune. You'll notice that I didn't add any of the tape behind the brad because I want the spinner to still move. Next, I'll add this poison bottle. I'm going to use some double-sided adhesive on this one, the double-sided tape, and then have to pull up some of the foam tape because I should have put this down first. Next, I'll be adding the sentiment and the crystal ball to the card. Now, I'm using foam tape for both of these, so I'm going to have to kind of layer it and play around a little bit to make sure that it's kind of where I want it to be. So I'm sliding the sentiment over as far as it'll fit in that blue rectangle, as far as I can to the right, so that I'll be able to see most of it once I get the crystal ball down. I'm using both art glitter glue and my foam tape for this. And as a final touch, I adhered that little raven to the top of our Wheel of Fortune. that finishes up this card for today. I want to thank you for joining us for this Halloween video hop. I encourage you to visit all of the other crafters in the hop because I know they will have a lot of inspirational projects for you to see. And I would love to see what you create. So come join my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. I've left a link down in the description box below. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.